All right, we are back here live at DattoCon 2022 here in Washington, D.C. Once again, I'm Jeff Johnson, president of MSP Success magazine.
And I'm Mike Stodola, the co-host of this amazing broadcast here. And with us, we got a very special guest here. Well, why don't you introduce yourself and tell us a little bit about your MSP?
Great, my name is Michael Sirota. I'm with Rational Business Solutions. We're out of Markham, Ontario in Canada. We're a fairly small MSP, about 9 people, and we love coming to DattoCon, that's for sure.
So it's not small, it's lean and mean.
Lean
right?
and mean,
yeah, I like
yes,
it, I like
right.
it.
Yes.
So what a morning. So tell us about what you've gotten so far.
So I think the biggest thing, and I think for a lot of people here at DattoCon, was waiting to hear from Kaseya and see what was up and what the acquisition was about and what the future would hold for us Datto partners. And I got to say, I was impressed. I thought that the messaging that came across was very good. It was not inspirational, but it just definitely gave us something to think about for the future. Is going to be okay with Kaseya, acquiring Datto, and
sure.
So it just gave me a little bit more of a comfort feeling going forward. That was a big part of the morning for us.
Well, awesome. Yeah, I mean, DattoCon is obviously one of the premier events in the industry. And is this, how many times have you been to DattoCon?
So I've been to every single DattoCon except the first DattoCon, which was actually in Washington.
Okay.
That's the only one that we missed, but I've been to every other DattoCon since then.
Okay, so what brings you back year after year to this event?
Well, I think DattoCon is by far the premier event for our industry, for the MSP industry. The networking that we get with all of the different partners, I love sitting down and talking to different people from all over the world, and we get really good insights, get a lot of best practices, and obviously the vendor fair. It's, when I get a lot of sales calls on a regular basis from different companies who want to sell me things, first thing I ask, are you going to be at DattoCon? And if they say no, I say, thank you very much, I'm not interested, because I think that any business that wants to interact with us has to be at an event like this and be part of, supporting the MSP community, and so anytime we're looking for new products, we always come to the vendor fair, and this is where we get most of the new things that we implement in our business.
Awesome.
Do you end up coming to the vendor fair with specific targeted products in mind? Do you look at it in advance of who's going to be here and who your targets to be able to go and visit, or do you go check out everyone?
I think it's a little bit of both. I think, we kind of sit down and we talk about, what type of things are we interested in looking at? And then we also, when we're walking around, like one of the partners we just spoke to today was a company called PIA. They're very new. It's really interesting tech. And, we might give it a try, but we had no idea of looking at that type of product for our business. It's just from walking around we found it. And a couple of the other vendors. And plus I really like to talk to the vendors that we are partnered with already, because it's a great time to interact with them and see what they're doing that's new, and just show them our support and thank them for, for the products that they provide us, because, we sell most of those products, so it helps us earn our income as well.
Yeah. So you mentioned that it was somewhat reassuring, some of the talk that Fred had this morning, talking about what Kaseya is doing, perhaps even others on the product dev side that were coming in and talking about it. What in particular did you see that impressed you, or hear that you impressed you, to be able to say, okay, hey, maybe things are going to be okay?
Well, I think the things that I heard, like prior to coming here, were that Kaseya really didn't have a great reputation in the industry. They weren't MSP focused. They didn't really understand the whole MSP thing. And I think that he really articulated that they're going to bring that from Datto to Kaseya, and because Datto really gets it. And I mean, the proof's going to be in the pudding. You can stand up there and you can say whatever you want.
Sure.
We're going to have to see what happens going forward, but I think sending that message that they really are bringing in, they're bringing in the support structure of Datto, they're bringing that Kaseya because it's, a better product. So it sounded like they're taking the best of Datto and they're going to incorporate that into Kaseya, which I think is great. They're not going to, take Kaseya and move it into Datto, which I think would be a mistake, and you would lose a lot of partners for that. So I think that messaging around that, I think, was very reassuring.
I thought it was even interesting there that Fred mentioned during his talk that he wished he would have been in some of these meetings before to be able to hear like what was going on inside of Datto, of that secret sauce there with the MSPs and being able to hear it. And now it's like when the curtain's pulled back now, it's like, hey, yeah, we want a lot of that here. We see of why people love Datto so much.
Yeah, I think, for sure. I mean, anybody, once you get to see under the covers and you see everything that's good, you can definitely, hindsight's 20/20 all the time. And for him to say that he wanted to be here, I mean, of course, I mean, when you know that a company is at the top, and has the best practices and it has that reputation among the MSPs, which they were serving as well, it seems natural that you would want to see what's under the covers there. And now he's had his chance, and hopefully he's going to do the right thing by really bringing all that good stuff in, and also maintain the good stuff with Kaseya. We don't really use a lot of the Kaseya products, so I'm not sure, but down the road, it might be something we look at.
Sure.
So Michael, one of the things that Fred said when he was actually on here talking after his keynote, and he said when he went to the board to buy Datto, he said one of the kind of intangibles is the MSP-ness that Datto brings to the table, and that feeling, and that was one of the questions he had is, are you going to continue with the Datto support? What's that mean to someone like you, a lean and mean 9-person operation there, to get the support of a billion-dollar company behind you?
Yeah, I mean, it means a lot. I mean, for us, being a small company, when we need support or when we need something from, a vendor, we can't wait because we don't have a lot of time to spare. If we need something because it's a new client or whatever, we need actionable right away. And Datto has always been exceptional at that. I know, like with my Datto rep, I send him an email, he gets back to me in 5 minutes. I pick up the phone, he gets back to me right away. And so their support structure, when we need support with something, with a product that we're using from Datto, you call and they have, I think we're one of the first ones that changed to specific numbers for specific product lines.
Okay.
So you're not calling into like a centralized thing. If you need help with BCDR, you're calling the BCDR support line. And those type of things really make a difference in our business because time is money for us. And if our techs can spend less time getting support, if I can spend less time in getting information or what I need for my clients, it's a huge benefit to us. And so hopefully that is going to continue. And I think that's where the biggest fear was, is what's going to happen? Like, is all of those things that we had being part of Datto, is that going to continue now with the acquisition? He says it's going to. Again, proof will be in the pudding. We'll see how it goes from day to day.
All right. Well, excellent. Well, I appreciate you stopping by, Michael, hanging out with us for a little bit, coming down from Canada.
Yeah, my pleasure.
All right.
Thanks.
All right, we're live back here at DattoCon 2022 here in Washington, D.C. Once again, I'm Jeff Johnson, and I'm here with Mike Stodola.
Hey, Jeff.
And we've got Andrew Hutchison here, out from Seattle here for DattoCon. Welcome, Andrew.
Thank you, glad to be here.
All right.
Excited.
So coming out here, I didn't get a chance to ask you, is this multiple times that you've been at DattoCon?
I've been at every U.S. DattoCon.
Every single one.
2013 here in D.C.
I think you probably won that of where there was one other person that hadn't been to the D.C. one previous.
And I've been to one in Europe.
Okay.
So longtime partner.
So what keeps you coming back? I know you've got a good-sized company. You've got about 100 employees out in Seattle here. What keeps you coming back to DattoCon here each year?
I feel it's the best industry conference. And you go to other conferences and it's really all about marketing and sales. And I think here it's about community. Plus there's just a huge number of vendors here that you don't ever see at any other conference.
Yeah, I mean, it is really the vendor hall. I think there's 115, if I counted correctly, there of different vendors here.
Definitely.
Anyone from different solutions, what's your strategy of coming here, of looking at that? That's a lot of different vendors to go check out.
It is a lot. You kind of, for me, I'm here with a partner in crime, my security operations lead, and so we kind of, divvied up some things, divvied up some breakout sessions, but you got to do your research if you want to get the most out of it, I think.
Yeah.
And so really just pick and choose the sessions that you want to be part of and go see the vendors. You can't see them all, but you try.
Yeah.
So it's a long-time Datto client and partner. Like, how was this morning for you? I mean, a lot of people came in with a lot of questions. Wanted to, obviously, this event with Datto and Kaseya joining. What were your thoughts?
Well, I'm an optimist, and there wasn't any damage done today. And so I think that's a really big thing, is that there doesn't seem to be any wrong moves being made. There's no alienation, that kind of thing. And so no bad news is good news.
Okay.
And so for me, I'm optimistic. We put a few things on hold, but I think we would move, I have confidence to move forward. We were thinking about going to Datto RMM or some other RMM, and we just kind of put that on hold when we heard about the acquisition and, see where that's at. But I have a much more confidence that it'll be supported going forward.
So absolutely. Was there anything in particular about what Fred said that kind of gave you that, I don't even know how to put it, not bad feeling or whatever?
Well, and I mean, I think he mentioned a few times, we're going to make mistakes, and everybody does. And I think if you learn from that and you correct, I like that. And I think the attitude was Datto's attitude in the past. It doesn't seem to be a different attitude, being customer focused or partner focused, I guess I should say, is the feeling I'm getting.
Awesome.
Yeah, I'm hearing that a lot with speaking with many of the partners out here after this morning's sessions, is that continuity, that making sure that we're not going to break things, we're not going to completely change what really was the culture of Datto. Is that what you're seeing as well? Definitely
the case. There's a lot of there's a little fear factor in that for me, but and I think the community in general there is a fear factor, and I think really some things Datto's done really well that maybe Kaseya hasn't. Say security has really, I think that's gonna. The Datto position is potentially going to take center stage as opposed to Kaseya's position previously. Yeah.
What are some of the breakouts that you were looking at? You talked about around security of taking some of those breakouts.
Pretty much everything security. Zero trust is obviously a big thing, but EDR integration with all of our tools. So it's anything security, anything zero, anything edge, zero effort, or zero trust, I should say, and anything that's edge on the edge and remote computing.
Yeah, I like zero effort too.
Yeah, zero effort. I wish it was that. That used to be a term, when you had your RMM, but it never was. Never came to fruition.
So as a veteran of coming to DattoCon, what would you say to someone who it's their first time here? What should they be looking for to get out of this event and really maximize their couple days away from that?
Talk to people, and it's talk to your peers, talk to, if you're sitting down at lunch and you're by yourself, strike up a conversation. Those are the best conversations. And then, of course, seeing everybody, in the Datto community, whether it be Datto Kaseya or whether it be a vendor, you have that opportunity. You better take advantage of it.
That's awesome.
Yeah, it really seems like it is all about community here, and from you being a veteran of every U.S.-based Datto, every North America-based Datto, does it feel the same? Does it feel different?
Well, it's bigger. It's bigger. San Diego was pretty big, and so there is more, and the industry's grown. So. It's grown with the industry, or grown the industry, you might say, because I'm sure there's a lot of momentum gain in the industry, with MSPs coming to DattoCons, you see that growth, and it's got to be driving it. If you're not here, and you're an MSP, I kind of question that.
Yeah.
Well, as a 100-person MSP, what do you say to the maybe solopreneur right now, and you just said they got to get here? Like, how important do you feel that it is to be able to take those couple days off to come to some of these events?
Well, taking the time to kind of renew, refresh is really good, and doing that at a conference, I think, is one of the ways you can do that. There are other ways, obviously, you can plan with your team and things, but you got to get away from the daily grind and try not to focus on your email and the crazy issues that are happening at home, but get away from it. Really separate yourself and think about what the future is going to be for your business.
Okay, great.
Well, great, Andrew. I appreciate you taking a little bit of time here during your lunch break. I know you've got a busy schedule this afternoon of getting back into those breakouts and the keynote this afternoon too. But,
yeah, I'm looking forward to that.
I appreciate you stopping by.
Yeah, it was my pleasure. Thank you.
Thanks so much.